This segment is about the event category. The event category is actually divided into 3 different elements. The first element is that the person or the artist has a leading or starring role in that event. I'll give you an example. If an artist is in a solo exhibition or a 1-person or a 2-person exhibition, then they would, by nature, have a leading role in that event. If it's a group exhibition with 500 artists, then they probably don't have a leading or starring role in that event. But there are still reasons to submit something for an event if there's 500 people, if it's a very important event, such as the Venice Biennale or something to that effect. The second element is that the event is prestigious. And how do you determine if something is prestigious? There's a couple different ways. One way is if there is a review of that event. I'll give you an example. If an artist has an exhibition and the exhibition is reviewed in major media or even in minor media, that will be documentation that that event is prestigious. There are other reasons, or there are other ways to determine that an event is prestigious. For example, if the event is in a venue that's prestigious, if it has a history or press about the event, then we can document that the event is prestigious. The third element of the event is that you will be coming to the United States to have a lead or starring role in other events that are considered prestigious. So this is something that people have to think about. I'll give you an example. If you are a very famous artist and you're coming to the United States, if you already have documentation that you've had a solo show and that show has been reviewed in major media, you don't actually satisfy the category because you still have to prove that you're coming to the United States to have a lead or starring role in the events that are considered prestigious. So in a later segment, we're going to talk about your itinerary, and it's something that we have to think about, that you have to prepare in order to satisfy that category. As I mentioned above, a leading role could be a solo, a 2 or 3-person show. If there's many other participants, you can still have a leading role if the media focuses on you, or if it's some way you break out so that you have recognition from that event. Some events are prestigious, such as a museum show or a design event with a lot of media coverage. An event is something that occurs in a specific time. USCIS has broad acceptance of what we categorize as events. A performance is an event, like a concert. An artistic exhibition is an event. A runway show is an event for both the model and the fashion designer. A lecture or a workshop can be an event. If someone judges the work of others or curates an exhibition, those are also events. How does a person document that an event is prestigious? There may be promotional materials. Those are materials that are prepared by the event organizers or even by the artist to document that event. It could be a press release, an invitation card, a catalog, a program, a flyer, a poster, or an advertisement. Those are all different ways to document that an event is prestigious. The other way, which I mentioned above, is obviously press. And if you have press about an event, that is the best way to document that the event is prestigious. The issue with press about the event, the press can add value to an application even if the artist is not mentioned in that review, because that press can help establish that the event itself is prestigious. Examples of press could be reviews or listing guides or other articles or even online mentions. What is enough? One thing that people should keep in mind is the regulations say productions and events. So the emphasis is on plural. It would be difficult to satisfy this category if there's just one event, although sometimes that's all there is. So it really depends on the quality of the event. But one thing to keep in mind is if you have something like that's a major event, that can be the backbone of an application. So if you have a a feature like a solo exhibition and you get a lot of reviews or even one review in major media, that can be the real backbone of the application. It can be the first thing that you show immigration to help them kind of lay the foundation of why the person qualifies. There's two different strategies in putting these applications together. One strategy would be called the kitchen sink approach, where you just put together as many events as you can. The second, we can call it like a focus on quality. Immigration is more interested in quality, so that's obviously the best way to go if you clearly qualify. If you don't clearly qualify for a category, then you can consider the kitchen sink approach, and that's really going to depend on the immigration officer. If there are many, many exhibitions, but there's not that much evidence that the events are prestigious, then immigration can lose interest in the application. The other thing is there's been a focus by immigration of not approving applications that are very big just because they're big. So we really have to think about what goes into an application. In my office, I don't use the kitchen sink approach. I don't think it works. What I'd rather do is focus on events and build them up and explain to immigration why each event is prestigious.